You think you know. Did you know that 6 out of every 10 counterfeit pills contain a lethal dose of fentanyl? You think you know. Unless it comes from a licensed pharmacy, you can't be sure if the pills are real or if they're fake. Trust me, you won't know the difference by looking at them. You'll only know if you come within minutes of losing your life. It only takes one pill, that's it. If it's fake, it could mean a devastating mistake for you. Get more information from youthinkyouKnowCT.org. Paid for by Griswold Pride, the partnership to reduce the influence of drugs for everyone.
It's safe to visit the dentist. In a word, yes, especially if that dentist is Dr. Katzoff and the staff at Griswold Dental Associates. They follow all the latest safety protocols while doing what they do best, taking care of you. From preventive to restorative, your dental care couldn't be in better hands. To schedule your appointment, call Griswold Dental Associates today, 860-376-2626. That's 860-376-2626.
I'm Tina Falk, the endorsed Democratic candidate for First Selectman for the town of Griswold. Over the next few weeks, we will be visiting neighborhoods to introduce ourselves and listen to your thoughts and concerns.
Hello, my name is Rich Grabowski, and I am the Democratic candidate for Selectman here in Griswold. This Democratic slate is a proven and experienced team.
And our Democratic team wants you to know that we are committed to restoring unity in our community.
Family Motors has arrived. They're your local auto super center. Put some excitement in your day and rent a Polaris Slingshot from Strain Family Motors, adjacent to the Green Onion Restaurant on River Road. Check out Strain Family Motors Super Center on Facebook as well as strainfamilymotors.com for everything sales, service, and excitement. River Road, Lisbon, Strain Family Motors, your local auto super center.
Auto Super Center. What's up, guys? How are you? And young lady?
Oh, just lovely.
Great.
Well, be thankful it's not going to be raining.
Huh?
No
No.
rain.
Oh, I didn't even get the weather.
So they're saying, yeah, see, you weren't even prepared.
I am prepared. I can tell you what the weather is.
It's a nice sunny Friday.
You weren't even prepared.
I am. It's not going to rain as bad as they said it was going to.
Right.
Tomorrow's going to be pretty nice. There will be flag football.
There will be flag
And it will
football.
rain towards the end of the
And
day.
also, there'll be youth football as well. All ages, all age groups, because it's also senior night.
Oh, is it?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's really a pretty it's a pretty exciting weekend for youth sports and football in general, because tonight is homecoming for Griswold,
That's right.
and then you have senior night starting at 4:00 tomorrow. So it'll be games at 4, 6, and 8 at Griswold High School on the turf field. So
The game's tomorrow.
no, the high school plays tonight,
Right.
but then youth football, Griswold youth
Oh,
football.
right.
Yeah.
That
That is the Micers play at 4.
You said the seniors, and I.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the micros and then the juniors and the seniors. So like the seniors are like
Like
13.
8th graders, yeah.
So all right,
Or they're the ones 65 and up. It really depends.
that's
Is that what a
true.
senior is?
Yeah.
65.
Let's see. Paul will be at quarterback. So
I'll be
Although
running
some
back.
places 55 and up.
Wayne will be the running back. So, all right. So, as promised, we have this morning the Republican first selectman candidate. Martin McKinney was also here, but we've decided to give Martin his own forum next Tuesday. So, which you can come in if you want to too, but it's
Next
really up
when?
to you. Tuesday.
I'm still working.
Really? Call out
he's
sick.
gonna hate
What do you
that
care?
even
What are they
more.
going to do to you? Fire you?
Martin didn't even want to serve with a bunch of people. Why is he going to want to be here by himself?
No, he will be.
Oh, somebody else will be here, Paul, or
Yeah.
he knows everybody anyway.
Martin?
Martin.
And yeah, very, very smart man. Very smart man.
Yes, he is.
So, I guess really my first question I want to kind of lay out to you. Oh, by the way, good morning.
Good morning.
And is how did this relationship between you and Martin McKinney come about?
How did it come about? It came about that we were looking for people to run for office. Martin said he'd be the selectman, and then I said, okay, yeah. I'm the one retiring. I'll be the first selectman. And then through the last several months, we've gotten to know each other pretty well, I think. And I think he's got a lot of positives that he's going to, actually a lot of stuff to fill in the blanks for me, because he's been on the planning and zoning for so long, and he's
Sure.
been part of this town for so long, and he's got his own businesses. He knows that end really well. And I think it's going to be a real good thing.
Got it.
Do you know what Martin eats for breakfast, though? Because you said you know him really well. What does he eat for breakfast?
Oh,
Probably
who invited her? I thought I was gonna start off with softball questions, Mike. Now I get a hard one.
He orders steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says a lot about a person.
extra
You always,
Great. So good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
I know you have a lot of questions.
Well, the question I have is, what skill sets that you have that say I can be the first selectman in what do you
Skill
do?
sets?
Yeah.
We've had this conversation before, not too long ago, but I've got a lot of management experience working with people, working with different groups at Millstone. It's a little different being part of the town, but I believe that using that experience, I can work with all kinds of different people. I'm going to go in if I get elected, I'm going to go in there with a fresh set of eyes, no notions, no preconceived agendas or anything like that. Going to go in with a plan. My focus and what I'm getting from the town is they're worried about taxes. They want to see economic development, which you're deeply into, and try and get everybody on the same page. I've gone to several meetings, and it seems to be a little bit here and there. You guys, have a pretty good idea what you want to do. We got Heritage River. I think we got a lot.
Now
of
you're
land.
speaking to Paul being on the
Paul,
economic.
That's correct.
Development
Yeah,
Committee.
Paul's been on the Economic Development Commission.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
Commission.
I didn't even know it existed.
See?
No, no. I warned you guys. I told you I would not be.
Well, it's a learning experience with you.
Yeah, it is, and you
Yes, it
need
is.
me. I represent the people.
This is
that are too
why I
afraid
wanted
to
you to
ask
be
those
here.
questions.
Yeah.
If you want to build anything or have any ideas, any land that you want to build on, go see this guy.
Commercial. This isn't residential.
No, I guess the thing that I'm seeing on Facebook is there's a lot of questions being asked. What do you guys want to see for economic development? It's not that easy for people to come. No, I want a Costco. I want a supermarket. I want this. What are you going to do? Go to the Costco CEO and say, "Hey, come to Griswold"? I don't believe that's how it works.
You're
The
right.
town has to be prepared to offer these lands areas for the businesses to come in. You don't go to the people and ask them, you make it presentable so they'll come to you. And that's how it kind of works. And when I see these things, what do you want to see in the town for economic development? See, that doesn't sound right to me. It's backwards. But doesn't that
You're
make
right.
sense to you?
I asked, I posted a question the other day about what would people like to see for economic development. And I got a lot of responses. Some people don't want to see any.
No, because I'll tell you, there's people who think by bringing economic development, it's going to cost them money in taxes. Now, come on, how backward thinking is that? You bring in revenue, but yet you think it's going to cost them money.
It's the only money I think it's going to cost them is we have to advertise it. We have to get out
Exactly.
there, throw it out there.
Exactly.
I read some of the minutes from your group, and you guys have been trying to push that.
Can't get any money.
And that's part of the problem. Some of the money. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been informed by through your minutes for the last year or so on that, and some of the meetings I've gone to about it. So that would be the first step. My other thing I would do, I'd get together with the town planner, get familiar with all the planned land out there, all the land available, all the buildings in the town here that's available. And some of the conversations I've seen you guys have, some of these buildings, people that are asking a lot of money to do something with those buildings.
Yeah, well,
So
not
that's
only that,
something we have to work
but
through.
I understand that the two properties, both on 164, I guess the landowners really didn't want to sell them, but I believe that they went back in with another offer, upped it. So I'm kind of hoping.
So it was $2 million.
That
was
yeah.
and then they came back and said, "Yeah, no, we're gonna." And the asking was $2 million.
Yeah,
They jacked it up.
They jacked it up. So then they went back in with another offer. I don't know. It's the same guy bidding on the Maruzi, whatever. Ceruzzi property.
The guy's bidding against himself. Is what he's
And then the other property on 164 next to the gas station. So
You're right. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. It's something that I have to get more familiar with the process.
Right.
It's one of the things I'm going to focus on. You got if you get in, you got 2 years to try and do something. So 2 years, I can't have 200 priorities. So you got to pick the right priorities. And what I'm feeling is getting business in here. Heritage River is great, but it's not going to help us with tax revenue.
It will with the permit.
The permits.
With the permits.
Yeah.
This could be over $1 million worth of permits.
Okay. So for that end, it could. But on the long term, it really isn't. As a matter of fact, in the long term, it might put more stress on the schools, more
With the
stress on
residents.
public safety
I was gonna say the fire departments.
services. Yes.
Yeah.
As somebody
So-
that lives or will live off of 164, I don't want to see it. I don't want all the bright lights. I don't want all the traffic. There's enough casino traffic as it is. But I'm like, well, Heritage River, that's the complex. It's supposed to be
Down next to the golf course.
I know that a lot of good could come out of it too. So if it did happen, I would try to adapt to that idea. But my first instinct is no, keep it. I moved out there because I want woods. I want peace. That's why I live here. It's quiet. It's mellow. And we get a lot of people in our town for, casino. We have a lot of surrounding. Think about the sunflowers. People come here to see the sunflowers. They like the beauty, the peace, the quiet. That attracts people.
It does, but if there's nothing here for people to see other than that, you know, and they also want to have people move here.
Yeah.
And when you don't have certain amenities, we don't have a grocery store.
Yeah.
We don't have a grocery store in this town. And basically, I mean, from what I've heard, and Paul, I don't know if this is actually true or not, or Wayne, you could maybe co-sign this or not, is we don't have enough what they call rooftops.
Yep.
So they have to, you know, to build things, you know, to bring people to the town.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think personally, and this is where you and I may disagree, is that the things that the Griswold have been doing in the last 5 years, you know, as far as, you know, bringing the turf field into town, that is huge.
Mhm.
The senior center, huge. The infrastructure on 164, that is huge, because these are all things that are going to go ahead, and people, when they come into a town, that, I mean, you could have people that are like empty nesters, right?
Yep.
You know, and they come into town, they go, oh, you know what? This has got this, and damn it, it's got Charlene's Diner.
So you want to attract
You know.
that demographic,
No, we want to yeah. I mean, that's what Heritage Village is.
right?
It's an older community. It's not, you know, 20 plus.
Not a bunch of riffraff.
Plus, there's
Yeah.
going to be a YMCA down there.
Okay. See,
Which
Yeah.
is, that's going to be a benefit to the town. Think about it.
I like being in the woods. I like how it's quiet out here. I like how when people come to our
Oh,
town,
there's the
they're like,
forest.
wow, it's beautiful out here. It's so quiet, peaceful. You can see the stars. We love it here. Campers.
So Wayne, this is a real good thing, because like now you're dealing with a young lady that is saying, not in my backyard.
And I had a few comments like that, not in my backyard. However, I don't know where your backyard exactly
Stay
is.
off my grass.
Why don't you tell everybody where you live?
We're gonna find out very soon.
So, and I've talked about this before, is most of the development that I'd like to see, and the feedback that I've gotten, is staying along the 395 corridor, not going sprawling out into Griswold. There were some comments made. There's a lot behind the job lot. I guess there's opportunities for a grocery store to go behind there or something like that. I don't know the history on that. That was probably a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Hotel a while ago, and
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was going to be a hotel. There was also going to be a assisted living, you know, where you come off 395 and you go straight across that property right there. That was going to be a 2-level assisted living building.
I thought it was gonna be a hotel.
It was going to be a hotel
It
originally,
was
and then it was
originally,
going
yeah.
to be a 2-story assisted living building. But gone.
So that's the kind of thing I need to understand, is why that happened, and dig into that, and work with the town planner and the people in the town. And as you well know, I have been talking with Tina and Todd.
Mhm.
So we're almost in the same opinion of where we need to go take the town.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be, the feedback I've gotten is they want to keep Griswold quiet, you know, and keep it, you know, more small town feel, stuff like that.
I love Mayberry. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. Jewett City's always been my Mayberry, you know, because
Right.
I've been here pretty much my entire life. But at some point, Mayberry's got to grow up.
And that's,
You have to kind of keep up with the Joneses in a way.
yep.
Look at Amazon though in Plainfield. I mean, it's just been sitting there empty.
Well, that's going to be a FEMA center. Anyway.
No, it better be an Amazon. But think about that, like how they built that based off of COVID numbers and COVID volume, and never thought that
They built a
those
few
numbers
of
were
them.
going to change.
There's one in Massachusetts that's twice the size of it that is empty.
My husband works for Amazon.
Yeah.
He's hoping to get
Oh, yeah.
transferred there, and it's like it's probably never going to happen.
Hmm.
So that feels silly to me. Sorry, Plainfield. Just feels really silly. This empty building, stupid Amazon too. They just have so much
But-
money they can let it.
Hey,
sit
guess
there.
what? They're still collecting taxes.
Yes.
So I don't want that shit there. Oh, I don't want
Still
that to happen to
collecting
us.
taxes.
Still
Have a
collecting
building.
taxes.
Still
That's
collecting
correct.
taxes.
Yeah.
Still money coming in.
And it's quiet.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but the people are they're
And it's
happy
out of the
about
way.
that. They're happy to be paying taxes for a service
No,
they're not
no.
even getting.
The Amazon's paying taxes to
Oh,
Plainfield.
Right.
Yeah.
The people aren't paying taxes for that.
No.
Oh.
No. Amazon is the
Man,
the
Plainfield.
owner.
Right.
Yep.
So, and they're the one that are writing the checks. So whether they do anything with not with the building,
Who cares?
They're still paying.
Big Daddy.
well,
Bezos,
you
he's got all
care
the money.
because you want your husband to be working close,
Right.
and I understand that.
Yep.
So
But it's also just silly to get the money that went into that, and it just sits empty. It blows my mind.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know what? That's just a big old tax write-off for
Yeah.
them. Do you think
So
they
they're
care?
not mad. I don't know.
They're not care.
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad, but you're right. It's for different reasons.
It's like you want to go to Hey Andy Amazon. You okay? You mad, bro? No, I'm good.
Think
know?
about this though, okay? Think about the businesses, not to bring up the bakery again, like pre-existing businesses that can't succeed in this town, and now you want to introduce totally new concepts and expect them to thrive. Look at the bakery.
Wayne, let's talk about this. Let's talk about
For someone who wasn't going to say anything.
I know. So one of the things that people, and this is one of the things that I have seen in this town particularly, is that people pay too much attention to what's going on Griswold now or Griswold discuss. They pay way too much attention because there's a lot of, there's just a lot of what's the word, cancer in there. People complaining about one another and stuff like that instead of talking about an issue. One of the things, and this goes back a few years, 4 maybe, where Aramoni's, Phil said, "I'm done."
Yeah, we used to get stuff.
Dooley
there.
said, "We're done,"
Yeah.
and we don't want to do it anymore. Then they brought in another guy, bought the place or bought the bakery or whatever. He was in there. Giuliano was in there for 1 year to the day, and then he closed up. He still has his bakery down in Niantic. Then there was this other guy that came in, and he's all over social media saying, "I'm gonna make a bakery here. We're gonna blah 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 blah." Well, obviously it didn't happen because now there's a barbershop in there and they're doing great, which is good. But people are saying, "Where the hell's our bakery?" And people on Griswold now goes, "Oh, I'll support it. Oh yeah, I'll support it. I'll be there." Yeah. Guess what? They didn't frickin' support it. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So what do you do? So what do you do as first selectman to bring in business, and then people try to take stock, in Griswold now, because it's easy to sit there with it type of way. What do you do? I mean, how do you tell people how are you going to support it?
Well, I think some of it's advertising, some of it's the leadership in the town getting involved and pushing for it and making themselves visible, not hiding in an office, getting out and about, talking to all the businesses in town, see what their struggles are, and help them with it. See what the town can do about it. I mean, I'm not a businessman, but I've got a guy I'm working with.
But Martin
that
McKinney
is. So
yeah.
he's going to provide a lot of pointers on what we need to do.
Sometimes it's about putting a team together. It's not.
Right. And I'll tell you what, the team that I have that's helping me through this is fantastic. I wouldn't get this far without them. Kathy's one of them, as you well know.
Who the hell is she?
Oh, yeah. Well, and so, yeah, it's about teamwork. And that's what made Millstone successful. That's what makes Millstone successful. I fully believe that, when I walk in the building, if I win, or when I win, as my team keeps telling me to say, is get to know everybody, get everybody together in a room, say what's our problems, how do we get unified and work together as a team, and here's what I see, here's what we need to do.
See, I think, and I think, Paul, you'll probably agree with this, that win, lose, or draw, you'll be able to, you'll find your way onto a seat onto the Board of Selectmen, whether you're going to be the first or the second selectman. How do you feel about being a selectman and not the first selectman, working, let's say you don't win, how do you feel? Do you get sour grapes and say, screw this? or do you say, you know what? I'm going to work with you, Tina, or whoever,
I'm looking forward to, Tina and I have had some conversations.
I'm not prompting anything. I'm just,
right. No, I'm saying, I think we would have a good relationship either way. and work together to make the town better. We're doing this. Both of us are doing this for the town to make it better. That's what we're doing it for. And with people like Paul on the boards and stuff like that, get together with them. They've got a lot of experience, and we have to tap on that experience. It's not going to be just about Wayne Malin. It's not going to be just about Tina. It's not going to be just about Martin or Rich. It's going to be about everybody. It's going to actually be about getting people involved in some of their concerns with ordinances or zoning to get them involved to help with them. I was at an ordinance board last week, and there were a lot of people there that were kind of upset with an ordinance that was being moved along, and they had a lot of good ideas. If you talk to them
Short-term
offline,
rentals. Talking about the short-term rentals.
yes. Yeah. And I talked to a few of them, and they would be more than happy to work with the ordinance board to make that work for both sides and for the town. So, and you just can't sit there and say, we don't have an ordinance for that. We don't have a zoning plan for that. So you can't do it. There's people that are doing it. There are people who have been doing it for years. So we can't ignore it. We got to come up with something. The state right now, when I last looked, they didn't really have any way of addressing it. But they are taking 15% from them. So I find that interesting. But yeah, I think you need to get the public involved. We got a lot of people here that are basically like Paul and others that are doing this for, the good of the town. Volunteers, basically.
Yeah. But one of the things, and again, Paul, you and I have talked about it. We've talked about a lot of things really in the last 7 years or so doing this show.
Yep.
And that one of the challenges that Griswold has is finding people that will actually take part in these boards and commissions, volunteer their time. It's hard. This is probably one of the, small town politics, to get somebody to jump in is hard to do. Do you have a plan or donuts? I think donuts is a good thing, or breakfast sandwiches.
Get some good pens.
Pens, yeah. Bring them in and say, come to the meeting, you get a glazed donut. I don't know. But
I think a lot of it has to do
silly as it sounds.
is being good at communicating and getting out there and talking to people and being open with people, being inviting to people. If you're not providing that warmth to people to be part of something, then they're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. Right. Being approachable. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things we need to do is we need to get it out there that this town is business friendly.
That's right.
We have to make that known.
It hasn't been, though.
I don't think it has been.
No, it hasn't been.
I think we need to get that message out there. And once we get that message out there, then I think we'll see businesses want to come in. But the problem we have is there's not a lot of land available. Think about it. There's not a lot.
Well, we'll have to capitalize on what we have, but there may not be a lot of land out there. But, based on my posts, there's some places in town that we could look at. You probably know more about it than I do, but, and I know somebody brought up the spot next to Walgreens. I was at one of your meetings, and I guess somebody's asking an arm and a leg for that place.
I think what they tried to do at one time is to put an Italian restaurant in there. But I think that they
ended up in Danielson, I believe.
Yeah, and I think that the building is actually owned by somebody that lives in like Switzerland or the Netherlands or something like that. And they tried to get a hold of them. They had no luck.
So, that's the kind of stuff, research we have to do. We have to reach out.
I think that was. And
that would be a prime spot for something in there.
Yeah.
Gym.
You got the old
market.
You got the old theater down here.
He won't do anything with it. He won't do anything
He's
with
not
it.
doing nothing. I've talked to Tony many
He won't
times.
do anything with it.
No?
No.
Why is it in that bad a shape? Or what?
No, he just doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything.
Ryan Aubin's gone to him. Kevin Skolchek went to him back in the day.
It's his land.
I've gone to him. It's like,
it's his property. You don't want to do anything with it.
So should you focus on trying to improve the existing things rather than creating new infrastructure?
Well, at one time they was trying to get a facade program going on downtown, so to make Jewett today look halfway decent, because there's a few buildings downtown that don't look too well.
yeah, we put up a light post and people just knock it over.
Yeah, we actually, as part of economic development, we got a grant to put the benches in, put in the garbage cans, put in the lights.
Mm-hmm.
That was paid for by a grant.
Ergonomics.
We got to apply for a federal grant as a small business. Actually, a lot of businesses in town benefited from it. Anthony's new parking lot. We
Yeah.
got new floors. We
ARPA money.
got what?
We
Did you? Oh,
benefited.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anybody talk about that. I mean, it was a federal grant, but still,
That was the opera funds, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it was the opera funds.
And I guess there's still a little money left. Might be able to reapply again. I don't know how they plan on doing that.
That's Jewett City. That's
Jewett
Yeah.
City.
That's Jewett City. Griswold has not
No,
made
the
their
borough,
opera funds
the borough
available.
did it, but
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
the town did not do anything. They kept the opera funds for the sewer.
Interesting.
That's what they did with it.
But I thought that was nice. Once again, that's
Yeah,
federal
yeah,
money,
yeah.
and you tell people you got a grant, and they're all like, "Ooh, where am I going to pay
Yeah.
for that?" But I thought it was good, and it was
Yeah.
pretty cut and dry, no stipulations. It was just show how the money's being spent, and
Sure.
you had to apply for it, but it was
Yeah.
pretty.
It's a pretty easy process.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I was
they made
really
it.
surprised.
The borough made it. Speaking of the borough,
I'm taking it back.
No,
here-
yeah.
here's a question from Daryl from the Healthy Computer
So the dog groomer,
and School Street, Jewett City. Are you going to continue the siege on Jewett City? Meaning, the current administration, wanted to swallow up Jewett City and just make it a part of Griswold and just say bye bye JC.
That depends on if it's good for JC and the town of Griswold.
Okay.
That's something that I haven't really been looking into. Recent events have, it's not really top of my list right now.
Mhm.
I've already talked to the warden and the senior Burgess about this when I first started running, to find out that, how they felt about it and stuff. But that would have to start from the ground up, and that would be a lot of meetings. It wouldn't be just one let's bring a meeting on somebody and then just
That'd be a
and,
disaster.
and in an argument.
We're the only Jewett city in the whole country. You gotta
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's so unique.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah.
You pay a little extra taxes.
what do you think is the
Well-
most important issue right now facing Griswold?
Facing Griswold is the growth that we're seeing without doing anything about it. I mean, we're seeing growth already. And as you well know, nothing gets cheaper. Everything goes up. Salaries go up. We get more people in here and you put stress on the school. You're going to need more teachers. You're going to need more salaries. That's going to be a bigger budget. That's going to impact taxpayers. So how are we going to prevent that? Going to go back to got to get business in here, got to get the tax revenue. That's what you have to do. And the most that I'm hearing out of people right now is how we're going to minimize the taxes. And I looked at the mill rates all through the state.
You're going to get that every election
gonna get
cycle.
every
How are we going
election
to
cycle.
lower taxes?
Right.
Well, newsflash. It ain't going to happen.
No, in reality, it isn't. But to minimize it, you got to have some other means of revenue in the
Right.
town. We had a great chance with that data center a couple of years ago, and that
Oh, don't get me started.
didn't happen. I tried to poke at that at the debate, as you well know, and that's still something that I would try to chase if I get in, and I believe Tina will as well.
Yeah, she said the same thing.
Right. So, it's going to be, we're going to have a debate on the 23rd.
Yep.
And you kind of said it on one of your shows. It's going to be Tina's going to say something. It's going to go, yeah.
And wait, I'll say
And Wayne
something.
say
Go,
something, Tina's going, yeah. So it's going to be up to people to pick who they want in. It's not, you're not going to see a lot of arguing or anything like it. She might have.
I don't think you'll see any arguing.
No, you might see she might have a little bit different take than I might on a few things, but overall, we're all about what we got to do for the town in Jewett City. So
Yeah. Well, I
we
think-
want to create a unity with the borough and the town again. That didn't go well in the last year or so. So
I'm happy that the borough actually went out and did their own thing, and they're firmly planting their feet in the ground with their new building and
Yeah.
what they're doing with it, bringing over a lot of the stuff from the historical society, moving the resident trooper over there. I mean, they're really in the trenches. Like, you're not moving us. We're not. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not going anywhere. We're
Right.
Jewett City strong, baby.
Yeah.
So
well, if there's a lot of people that feel that they like it the way it is and they don't mind paying the extra taxes, then
There's like
I'll leave it
25 bucks
alone.
here.
huh?
I think it's like $25.
I'll leave it alone. But I believe there are some services that we could share and dig into that as far as, the state troopers, try and get a few more of those, figure out how we can share those services. We also, Rich is also on my team, so I'm pretty well informed on what's going on with the Jewett City Fire Department. They're doing well. as far as getting younger people involved. On the Griswold side of things, not the case. So we got to work on trying to get more kids, younger people involved in becoming volunteer fire people. But before we get into this, I want to say one thing, and I want to thank everybody that showed up on the primary and supported me, and my team that supported me through this whole thing. I couldn't do it at all without either the town that voted for me and the campaign people behind me that helped me out and provided all their experience and all their input and feedback. I've got great people that I don't do Facebook. I got a Facebook manager that takes care of all that. I don't even watch Griswold Now or any of that stuff because what you said.
But when you have a page that says Wayne Malin for first selectman,
right?
That's your name.
That's my
so
name.
whoever's doing it, people are going to look at it and go,
"That's me."
Wayne said what?
Has to reflect you.
Yeah,
it is, and we're tight. We're both. She keeps me informed what's being said, and then I respond.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's social media can get you in trouble. That's why it's always good to have somebody to run it by. And I run pretty much everything by the team, and I try to speak from the heart. I don't want to throw any BS out there, but it's going to be interesting the next couple of months. We got a lot of things going on. We got the big dinner this next Wednesday night, and that we're going to
the steak dinner,
the steak dinner with the. I guess
we'll be
call it
there.
the business.
Are you going?
I can't go.
Oh,
Because the problem, what happened was they said it was for businesses. And when I talked to Laurie, it's not just for businesses.
not.
It was for everybody.
I never heard about a steak dinner.
You never heard about it?
Nothing.
you guys are cooking it.
Oh yeah. Hey, I know Martin's going because he likes steak and eggs.
Yeah, Martin.
Yeah.
Martin will be there. All the candidates are going to be there.
Yeah.
70 some people.
70-something people.
Are gonna be
I
there.
talked to her
Yeah,
yesterday.
71 so far. The last I saw in the last email from Lori.
So that's a good response.
DFW.
Well, I think a lot of people responded because they want to know what's going on. I
Right.
think there's a lot of change coming with the whole brand new administration now, whether it be Democrat or Republican. So people want to know, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And that's on all boards.
So the other thing is people have been asking about, and I threw another question a couple of weeks ago, was about, how do you feel about a town manager? How do you feel about expanding the board of selectmen?
Yeah, I was gonna. That's exactly where I was gonna go next. So I'm glad you brought it up.
So I threw that out there. A lot of people don't really want to see a town manager. I got more positive response on expanding the board of selectmen. I think we need to have a larger board of selectmen for having more sets of eyes looking at the problem, be able to delegate some things so that you can have somebody involved more, and then bring that to the board of selectmen. We can discuss it. I mean, we've been doing this for, I don't know how many years, with 3 selectmen, probably forever, but we need to modernize our government also.
They tried. School check.
Right.
In his first term, tried to expand the board to 5, and it went to referendum, and people said no.
We have 3 selectmen.
Yes. I'll cover the mic.
And animator D. So
why doesn't the third guy get a sign?
What do you mean? The third?
Yeah, who's the third selectman?
Well, actually, second and third are kind of the same thing.
Okay.
They really are. There's no real difference between,
So
except for how many votes you got.
right. So who's the third? Who's the third one?
Here's the third one right now.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Could be.
Might as well be.
Might as well.
Well,
Oh, you don't. You're not reading.
who's the first select person right now?
Well, Dana.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's
Right.
second?
Who's second?
Or it doesn't matter, second or third. But
Honestly, I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Well, really, I mean, you think about it. I mean, second and third selectmen really have the same amount of input
Yes.
available, and it's
they vote the same on any issue at the board of selectmen meetings.
Who
So
is it?
it's Todd Babbitt
Oh, well,
and
yeah,
Richard
okay.
Matters.
Okay,
And Richard now says it don't matter, so he didn't run anymore.
that's
So,
right. Okay, yep.
Actually,
Todd was
Todd's
the first
moving on.
selectman,
He's
though,
running for board of
right?
Board of
education.
Education.
He
yeah.
was the
Yeah.
first. He was the first selectman.
Who?
Todd, wasn't he?
At one point,
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I was confused.
but he lost to Dana
Sorry,
Bennett,
sorry.
and he ended up on the board of selectmen
Right.
as a
okay.
whole. So
And that's why you said that you could ultimately end up. It's just a matter of where you could.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Told you guys, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
So the first selectman is basically the grand poobah,
yeah.
you know, of the entire town.
Mhm.
You know, it's a compensated position. You know, as a, it's not really a full time job. They don't even call it. They don't even. There's no. I know. There's
Supposed to be. When I looked it up, it was supposed to be when I first started looking into this. I went,
couldn't find
on the
anything.
web and I looked up what's a first selectman. The funny thing is, first selectman is only for like New England towns,
Oh, okay.
right? For the rest of the country, it's usually a mayor or something
Yep.
like that, right? Or a town council lead or something like that, right? And they have town managers.
I think we should have mayor. I like mayor better.
Well, we kind of do Jewett City. You know, the warden
Yes.
Right.
is basically the same thing as a
Who's the
mayor.
warden?
Isn't it Algier?
No.
Who is it?
Thanks for playing. We have some lovely parting gifts for you.
Tim Sharkey.
Oh, Tim Sharkey.
Yes!
Sorry, Tim.
Yes!
Sorry. I'm always working. I don't have time to get into politics. I told you.
Well, whoever's listening to this show, they're now becoming educated.
Listen, I'll warn you with how he didn't know about that. I guarantee you. I promise you.
Well, so let me ask you this: since you are part of Charlene Ziner, you know, a business owner in town.
Yeah.
Who is the tax collector in town?
It's Sharky's wife.
That's right, Sharky's wife.
Sorry, it's Fiona.
Sharky's wife. That is congratulations, Sharky's wife. She's his wife and the tax collector.
Oh, what a job.
But
I don't know what's worse.
I know, right? Her name is on my residential taxes too. So I would know her
Yeah.
from that way too, not
Yeah.
just being a business.
She collects for both, right?
Yeah, she
Borough
does.
and the town.
I paid my auto taxes a couple nights ago, late, but I paid them, and you get a nice little note. It says thanks, love Leona.
Aw, how sweet.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't.
I think that would be a good touch.
Luckily, she's a very beautiful, sweet lady. So
She's wonderful.
I don't hate it as much because I'm like, well, we love her. We do. We love
Yeah.
her, but we hate that she does.
She's tough.
Yeah, but
I ain't messing with her.
Yeah, no, me neither. Nope.
She's a tough lady.
But they knew what they were doing when they put her in that position because
Yeah,
she's
I
just
agree.
very sweet and she's got a hard job.
So,
So one big project you got coming up is going to be the sewer. That's going to fall under the next selectman's reign.
that's correct.
So
We got to keep that moving.
that's the biggie. That's, I guess it's going to start in the spring, I
As a
guess.
matter of fact, when I was in Seattle visiting my mom, that was the day after the primary, I got a call from Tom's Yard.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be new administration. So the CIF grant people wanted us to sign a form
I heard that.
to say that,
Yeah, I
you
heard
know,
that too,
and
yeah.
as
I heard from Paul, but-
there were people getting nervous about what was going to happen. So all four of us signed the form saying no matter what happens, we're still going forward with it.
Yep.
And of course, shortly after that, it got, you know, to the, I guess we're at the final, you know, stages of being approved.
Yep.
Heather's Summers,
Heather
been,
Summers, yeah.
been a big part of it, along with Brian Lanou and all that. So,
So I think it's pretty much got the money to cover it,
right.
which is good. But that's going to be the big project that's going to fall under the next administrators. That's what's going to happen. Make sure that thing gets in.
What does this entail?
The sewer line going down 166 sewer and water
Sewer and water.
on 164 going all the way down to Heritage Village.
Oh, okay. Now you have to put that in even if you don't know if that building is actually ever going to come to fruition.
Well, I guess because of the sewer going down here, it's becoming very, very positive. And they already own the land.
Yeah.
They already
Okay.
bought it. They already got plans.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got plans.
So it's, and the thing is, there's a requirement by the state. We have to have so many % housing for lower income, right? And then we got 55 plus. It's part of the gated part
Yeah.
of phase B, I guess, for 55 and over.
Yeah.
You know, there we go, Paul. We got a house we can move into.
I love that traffic. It's gonna
So,
be awesome. Can't wait.
And you know, I go to River Ridge once in a while. I go off there, and I drive down that road a lot. And I can't help but think, and you're not going to like this, that road is probably going to go 4 lanes at some point, all the way to River Ridge, more than likely. You think about it. You look down the road. I'm the kind of guy who looks down the road.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen,
Yeah.
when you start building up around there.
Yeah,
But if you really look at what's sitting there now on that property, It doesn't look good.
You know, here's
That
another thing.
property doesn't look
No.
good right now.
No.
And it really needs to be dressed up. And I think if you do it right and you do it with some class, that area can look really nice.
The other thing too, and I'm actually going to bring this to you, Brianna, is we talk about, you know, economic development in the town of Griswold. In 164, where's that the main corridor for? Foxwoods.
Yeah.
Right. So you have, you know, a certain amount of traffic anyway that's coming off the highway from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York. You know, they're all coming off there and you know, going that way. It's going to increase in the next year, whether we want it to or not, whether we even do anything. And that's because of Great Wolf Lodge.
That's right. Yep.
That's, I mean, they're crazy and they're building fast.
Yeah.
You know,
We get it done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's going to be a big attraction. Not, I mean, more for, you're going to see more families.
Yeah.
So that corridor right there, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to want to come in, whether, you know what I mean? Whether Griswold does anything or not, I think it's kind of like a built-in success story because you're going to have businesses that are going to want to capture that traffic.
Yeah.
You know, that's coming through. Do you agree or disagree?
I do.
Let Foxwoods pay then. Let them pay for us to get more people in our town. They got the money. Let them.
I don't think they really help levy Preston that much either, but that's okay.
Did you know how much
Have we ever asked them?
casino traffic we get? And repeat customers too. People that are going to the casino,
Yeah.
you know, a couple times a month.
Now you're going to get families because of
Yeah,
Great Wolf Lodge.
Right.
Well-
and that's, we
Yep.
didn't have to do a thing.
Right.
But keep in mind, that's a state highway.
164?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the state is actually getting money from the casino. The town's ain't getting crap.
But the people that are coming into my restaurant because they went to the casino, I mean, you'd be amazed. And not only that, the campers this time of year, because it's beautiful. We have so many New Yorkers, people from Long Island coming to our quiet town.
Yeah.
That business slows down in October when all of our campers leave. And
Well,
it counts for
Yeah, when we look at Strawberry Park, you know, I mean,
Yes.
you know, people are coming in. What's the one in Lisbon?
Fox.
Fox.
I got hopefully.
Fox Hill or something.
There's so many, and
Yep.
I'm sure if we would, that's a huge portion of our summer revenue is the campers.
Yeah.
But if you make this like New York, they're not going to come out here. It's going to be just like home. Why
Sun
don't they come out
Fox.
here?
Sun Fox. That's what it is. Because it's a takeoff of both the casinos.
Mm.
So you're going to see it anyway.
Yeah,
And that's good. And now that's great economic development. That is economic development right
Yeah.
there,
Yep.
right? Which is going to bring people to Charlene's Diner.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't cost us
So-
a thing.
Exactly.
Correct.
Not in money.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have that increased traffic where you're building
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be like
Well, that's
shit.
a personal, but that's a casino and like you said, a
Right.
highway anyways. So I would anticipate traffic. It's moving. It's moving. People aren't
Yeah.
stopping.
We're not stagnant, you know, we're not like stale water, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're
Well,
moving, so
As a town, we see this growth going on around us, and we can't stay stagnant. We got to do something. I think, you know, with everybody, with the input of the town, and when the town hall just can't make the decisions for the town. The town needs to be part of that discussion. But I think it can be done tastefully. And I think a lot of people will like it if we had an extra restaurant or two, or if we had, you know, a couple shopping stores or something. You know, that you know, I got a lot of feedback from women that would like to see some clothing stores,
Yeah.
you know,
that'd be
in the
cool.
area.
Let's put
and
a
stuff
TJ
like that,
Maxx.
you
If you're
know.
gonna put a TJ Maxx on 164, I fully support it.
you know, you get the max for the minimum.
And I will
TJ
vote for
Maxx,
you
I
right
hear,
now.
So
TJ Maxx. ain't
Okay,
home.
that's
You're
it.
done.
TJ Maxx going in.
yeah.
And I will get all my friends to vote for you too.
Can we get a Hobby Lobby? Can we get a Hobby Lobby?
I promise. I will. That'll be it. That'll be it for me.
You know what I see else, you know, and Paul mentioned the YMCA, and what I've seen in some other larger towns is that a place for kids to go play. I mean, we've got a couple small areas. We got the school playground. You got the little playground over by the Little League field over there, but nothing that, you know, families and kids get together and actually, you know, big playground. Sometimes you can't use the playground at the school if they're
We get the splash pad down
You
at
know.
Yeah.
River Church on the end of School Street, which they allow the public to come in and use. You know, that's one thing, but you're right. There's not a whole lot.
Yep. So I would, I don't know Ryan very well. My wife knows him better, but I would probably meet with him and see what ideas he has. But then again, what's that do, Paul?
What's that do?
He has no idea.
What is it?
He's got no
What
idea.
it's going to cost?
Money.
Money.
That's the problem that's the problem. We got all these things we want to do. When we brought in, we wanted to bring in the data centers. What was the biggest bitch everybody complained about?
Noise. And there isn't any noise.
There's none.
Hey, what about the
There's-
solar panels? And
Because
solar-
You looked
Oh, well,
you looked into it. A
we
couple
kinda-
other people looked into it.
Yeah, it was bitching about it.
And I work at Millstone. I'll tell you what, we have diesels, and you really don't hear them.
No.
You smell them more than you hear them.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be running that long.
No.
So, and then the other complaint was power getting to the data center. You're telling me Eversource isn't going to pipe power
It was
to the
actually,
data
it was
center?
actually Jewett City.
Yeah.
Jewett City was going to benefit from this because it had to be a municipality.
Okay.
Well, it didn't have to be, but they had a better chance
They had
of
a better
striking a
chance,
deal.
which would have meant a real positive for town because that meant that the data centers would have taken the blunt of the costs of generating power. So they would have got all that money coming in. So the residential costs would have been down.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
the data
So
centers were paying.
there were so many positives with that.
There was a lot of positives, but it was,
And
yeah.
that's something that it doesn't matter. I don't know if Tina and I are working together. I think we're going to be in the same.
Yeah, well, I think you
page
just got to
after
find out what the hell happened.
Yeah.
And the other thing we're not thinking about is where the traffic is 138.
that, right? No, I know. So if you try to get on 138 at certain times a day, forget
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2:19,
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
School's
I
out.
mean, 138 is another one that's could be open for something going on now, going down 138. And then we got to remember too that there's also going to be infrastructure going on 201.
Where?
Right down the road from where I live.
Oh, really?
Matter of fact,
Where do you
yeah.
live?
As first selectman, I'm going to divulge my personal information. Come on over for
It's
steak.
public information.
Arrowhead 2.
Ah.
I live in Arrowhead 2, 11 Pequot Trail.
But that's the other
I guess that
area that's
technically
going
is
to
201.
I had no
gonna
idea.
get-
I had no idea.
that's going to be what sewer and water or just water.
If people
I'm sure.
complain about noise, I've been listening to the 395 traffic for
That's right.
35 years. So,
Well-
but you get used to it. I grew up in a town down in Delaware. That's where I grew up. And we had a railroad right behind the house. And 4 or 5 times a day,
Yeah.
train would come by. And at least once or twice during the night. So you get used to it. But I'm not saying there's a lot of people that like noise. I mean, my daughter moved to Kenwood a couple of years ago. Nice and quiet over there.
Yeah.
And I got a few friends over there. That I bribed to put some signs up over there. So, there you go.
It's a great place to go
But-
trick-or-treating too.
Yeah, so
They give out the full-size candy bars.
Oh yeah, no fun size there.
I will be there at my daughter's house, and she lives right across from Pat, who owns America.
Tell everyone where your whole
He
family
decks
lives.
that place out, and that whole
Yeah.
street, that whole neighborhood. When you try to leave, forget about it. It takes like half an hour to get out of there because all the traffic and all the kids, and that place is packed on Halloween. That's for sure. But
Yeah,
I'll
and
be
Christmas too. He does a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love it. I mean, it's one
Oh,
of
yeah.
those things that just
Yep.
Hi. What's up? Oh, hi. This is Megan.
Hi.
So, all right. So, one of the things that I think we've gotten complacent on, through the years, is we've kind of been like, oh, we don't need to do it because Lisbon's got it. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
over the bridge, right? So, one of our chatters, Aaron goes, "What about TJ Maxx? Or which you had mentioned." And what do you mean you don't have an IGA? And Victoria says, "We don't have an IGA, and that is not true, Victoria. Better value,
Yep.
is IGA.
Yeah.
Better value
Yeah.
both Lisbon and in Canterbury. They're both IGA
Right.
supermarkets.
Which have stood the test of Walmart too,
Right.
which is incredibly impressive.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of people that don't like going to Walmart.
Right.
Yeah,
And some people will go there for certain things, but for most things, they like going elsewhere. They like going to Aldi's. They like going to Stop and Shop. They like going to Big Y. Like pay a little bit more, but they like the quality a little bit better.
I think a lot of small businesses down have survived. Look at the hardware store. Who thought
Oh, bye,
that-
Megan. You
Who
leaving?
would have thought the June City Hardware store downtown would survive at Home Depot
I
and
know.
Lowe's?
You're right.
But it's still there.
That was Megan.
And part of that's probably customer service, right?
Yeah. It is Adams. You're right, but it's an Adams IGA.
So,
I have two questions.
okay.
And the first one is you've been attacked a couple of times. And I want to give you a forum because I think you deserve it. That it was it's not fair or it's not whatever for Wayne to be the first selectman and his wife to be the Board of Education chairperson as well. You know, so you have a husband and wife team. Talk about a power couple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you did not.
You want to know who runs the house? It ain't me.
But I wanted to give you, you know, a chance to, you know, and I know you've knocked on doors, you talked about
Oh, yeah.
it, but you didn't get a chance to respond to it during
The
the
debate.
debate. So how would you respond to that where somebody said it's probably not ethical to have Wayne Malin as the first selectman and Mary Beth Malin, and sorry to bring Mary Beth into this, but it's only because of that
Right.
statement as Board of Education chair. How would you respond to that?
Thanks for the opportunity, Mike. Yes, that was like the last line of the debate. Didn't get a chance to rebut on that. But Paul did ask me about that like the first time I was on. But
Yes, I did.
my response to that is, and now that I've gotten more involved in this, we do have, as you said before, it's a small town. You only have so many people that volunteer. And we have couples on other boards that actually probably, you know, a little bit more conflict of interest than what you would see between the first selectman and the Board of Education chair. I believe the first selectman is probably going to have more.
Brianna, there comes your ride. Sorry.
I think the Board of Education chair is not going to really get involved with town business. She's more focused on the town. And if there's anything that the first selectman is going to get involved with the school with, he'd be getting involved with the administrator, which is the superintendent of schools. And I'm not married to him. So there you go.
Well, Sean is a handsome man.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
he's a
so,
smart guy. He makes a
yeah.
lot of money. He'd be a great catch. Yes, he would.
You hear that, McKenna?
But yeah, I don't believe it's going to be a problem. She does her business. I do my business. I'm not worried about the school. There was an issue with an audit and this and that stuff. And I've been to some meetings talking about that's all resolved now. It's all behind us.
It's got nothing to do with it.
It's not going to get, and it's not going to happen anymore. I mean, there was a little bump in the road that got fixed. But that doesn't mean we need to create any kind of controversy between the town hall and the school. And I think some of that was happening, and that should have never happened. It should. I'm all about let's work together, fix the problem, get it behind us.
Yeah.
No finger pointing.
And I would think, in listening to you and hearing you talk, I would think if there was an issue that you would probably excuse yourself.
That's correct. If I did get involved or somehow somebody asked me something about it, I would recuse myself. So,
And that happened many times with Todd and Tina. You know, I've been to many Board of Selectmen meetings where Tina would have something. This is before the senior center was built, the new one, and she'd have something to say, and then Todd would recuse himself and leave the room. They were, you know, so there's wonderful ethics, great professionalism, but I didn't get the whole thing because really, when you look at the town government and you look at the Board of Education, it's like two different governments altogether. You know, that really don't mash
but the
together.
only time any of that happens is when budget season comes. Really.
And who
And
you dealing
I-
with? You're
and
dealing with
I-
Mr. McKenna.
And if anything like that were to come up, then like Paul said, I would back off.
And if it were that easy
So-
to give her what she wants, there wouldn't be votes. There wouldn't be, you know what I mean? It's like people make it sound like you could just, yeah, that's what you want. I'll make it work. It's not like that. You have to go through such a process.
There's so many
Yeah.
channels you have to go through to make it happen. So,
It's yeah, it's a little far fetched if you ask me.
which is another reason why I would like to see expansion of board of 5, board of selectmen. Because that means you got a less of an opportunity for one person to have that much control.
Yeah.
You know, you have 2 other people now that are going to have the same voting power, you know, on what we're going to do as a town.
You know, you think about it too, and this is, I think people forget as well, and it's easy to forget, is that even if you have a 3-member board of education, board of selectmen right now, if you have the second and during a voting situation, if you have the second and third selectmen, regardless of their party, if they both vote yes on something, or if they both vote no on something, guess what happens? That's it. The first selectman doesn't even vote.
Yep.
That's it. You know, I mean, the first selectman is a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's the same as a chairman on a board.
Exactly.
He sits back, and if it's a tie, then he gets the final.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing, if say, for instance, Tina got in and Todd got in, it's the same situation.
Well, Todd's not on the board.
He's on the board of ed.
Yeah.
Right, but he's not on.
But I'm just saying it's a similar.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
It's
trying
more,
to.
that's more than, and I'm not saying a conflict, because they've shown professionalism in the past.
I agree.
You
But
know,
it's
so-
a similar situation where you have a select person and a person on the board.
Well, what about Gail Rook Norman and Stu Norman?
Same thing.
You know, and
Same thing.
they've been fine. I think people bring it up just because they want to bitch.
Well,
Look at Mickey and Minnie Mouse. They have
Yes,
you know
Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
what I mean? They all the what is it? Like 150 years we've celebrated with Disney.
Yes.
So that's all I gotta say.
No, Eddie.
Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you have? I'm surprised you didn't bring the chicken out, Mike.
He's over there. You know why I put it over there? Because I thought Martin would get pissed off
Yeah.
if I went.
That's probably why he left. He knew I was gonna be the chicken of the show.
One more question
Yep.
I have.
Okay.
And this is I think, a difficult question, because I don't know how I would answer it. Is we just got done with the turf field.
Yep.
And this year we had a 0 budget. Well,
Zero
increase.
yes.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said 0 budget, because that would really be cool, wouldn't it? Look at Paul smiling. So next year, they're coming. The tax man's coming. And it's going to be a big pill to swallow.
well,
Go ahead, Paul. You have
I
experience
think,
in this.
and I'm hoping this is going to work out, that infrastructure gets in and Heritage starts doing their
Yeah.
permits.
Okay. I see where you're
Okay?
going.
And hopefully that will offset any
Right.
big tax increases that will occur in next year.
And that would be awesome. You know, I'm okay either way, because I wanted this field so freaking bad.
Yeah.
You know,
I know you did.
yeah, I really.
And we're
I know
gonna
how
get
you
kids
feel
from
about-
other
but,
towns.
Have you
Yeah.
seen it yet? Have you seen it? Have you gone by and seen it?
I
No. That's the answer, Paul. Just
No.
say it.
No.
No. There we
No, I
go.
respect
You just have to drive
your
by.
opinion.
have not been there.
But you should probably check it out. I think they're playing tonight.
They are.
And
We'll be there tonight.
My Griswold Tumblr says they're going to be playing Weaver.
Yes.
So Friday the 13th. We didn't even say that.
It is Friday the
Friday the
13th, yeah.
13th.
I was trying to stay away from that.
But anyway, yeah. So if you like my sweatshirt, you can always buy one there. You know,
Yeah.
it's a nice
That's a
sweatshirt.
lovely, lovely sweatshirt.
Yeah,
I got this shirt
I
at
wore this
TNS.
because we got a game tonight, and I like to see everybody there. I mean, the first night it opened up, it was packed. So
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you guys there.
Yeah.
Guys there. Hopefully we'll see you guys there tonight,
So-
especially for homecoming.
I'm not trying to avoid your question, but what was the question?
Oh, yeah.
Ha! Well, I think Paul kind of answered it, but let's say that doesn't
words in
happen.
his mouth, but I think
we could be facing a large
we
increase
could be
next year.
facing a lot.
So I
So
will
what do
tell
you- what do you
not
tell
to-
people?
Not to show any conflict of interest, but
You're not a first selectman right now,
actually, no,
or a
no,
board of
no,
selectmen, so you can say anything you
no,
want.
And my wife brought that up a month or so ago about the 0 increase and what she's seen in the past. That usually is followed up with a larger increase, right?
Yes.
So just although everybody champions, hey, 0, 0, 0, but you got to make up for it because nothing stays. The prices have not stayed the same for the next year.
Yeah.
right? Salaries have not stayed the same.
No, they're not.
Insurance.
You know, and every
Sure,
year
so
you
it's-
got to negotiate salaries and everything like that. So, and as long as I've worked, we've been getting between 2.5% to 3.5% pay raises for the 37 years that I've been at Millstone. So it's, cost of living raises.
Yeah.
So
Do we have other teams playing on that field?
So you were
Get
part
paid
of
for that?
Millstone.
Other
The youth,
town?
no, but I can tell you that the youth organization, they donate a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like they have the in the cafeteria. I want to say the snack bar professionally cleaned every single year
Yeah.
because they use that. They put in additions to the sound system that sounds so much better. Now that came out of Griswold Youth and Cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was off of their dime. So they work together, in lieu of like a tax payment. I'm just
Yeah.
guessing, but they do offer a lot of things.
I think optimizing the field and any other things going on there. I don't know that it's going to drastically offset the tax increase, but like make use of your resources.
well, they've got a new track there. They're supposed to be
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
state track invites there now that
So-
it's an 8-lane track. What'd you think of the lighting?
Unbelievable.
The lighting's unbelievable. You need to come to a night game, Paul,
Tonight,
and
Paul.
watch the game. It's not going to rain tonight either. You
I
can't,
know it's
it'll be a
not.
little chilly.
Tonight, Paul.
But
Where do you live, Paul?
Not far.
I don't understand.
But the lighting, the way they
Yeah.
position the lighting and everything, now you can see the whole game without any poles in your way. And
No.
it's just the way they really thought it out. They planned it out. These guys came in on their proposal, and I sat in the first proposal that after the ad hoc committee was done and proposing it to the Board of Ed. And you could tell that they had their stuff together, and it's a good thing. And as a matter of fact, I think the broadcast for the tuition students coming in, once we voted that field in, has just been astronomical.
Yeah.
And some of the students leaving are
Which
coming
is
back.
what you
And
mentioned. a
Bristol's
minute.
doing
Yeah.
well this year too. Their
Yeah.
football team, right? So, right,
Yeah.
haven't they won every game?
But it's not about just the football team. That's one
Right.
thing that I think that
Don't
people
call it
get
a
lost
football
in.
field, Paul.
Yeah.
It's not just a football field. I've
Oh my
been watching the
God.
show.
This
They do
is-
soccer. They do.
Lacrosse. There's
They got
track and
cheerleaders out
field,
there
cheerleaders,
doing-
everything.
Yep.
The public can use that track whenever
Right.
they want to.
Correct.
The lights are on at night and they go down. You can control the lights on an app.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Wayne, is there anything else you want to bring up or say before we call it quits for today?
So I didn't answer your question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm it's like everything else. I'm not going to give you everything's going to be good news,
Right.
without knowing what the budget's going to be next year. Historically, it's been next year, expect an increase. Unless, like Paul said, the permits help offset some of that, or the tuition student thing helps offset some of that. But expect an increase of some sort. And I'm sure that the town and the school work through it to put in the budget what they need as a bare minimum to succeed and not impact the taxpayers as much as they can. And it might go back and forth a couple of times, but if I get in, I get involved, then my job as a selectman is to minimize the impact to the townspeople. I work for them. I work for you. So, if I get in, my door's going to be open. I'm going to be trying to walk around and have breakfast at Charlene's so often, say hello to Brianna and her family, and
I'll go to Arrowhead
And-
too and maybe come visit you.
yeah.
Would you say?
he just told us the address.
I swear to God, I thought you said Airhead too.
Arrowhead too.
So anyway, I want to thank you for letting me come on the show, Mike, and I'm sure we'll be doing this more often, whether I'm the first selectman or the selectman.
Yeah, you'll be back.
And
Because
I think
it's evident you're going to be on the board one way or
I
another.
think this is a good media to get information out. It really is. I like to see a lot more people tune in if they really don't want to know what's going on. Have the opportunity to ask us questions. Be critical. I've been married 39 years. I'm used to getting criticism. So there you go. But so that's the whole thing is communicating, right?
Yeah, and it's like, you get X amount of people that'll watch it in the morning, but then it through the week.
Yep.
Like I had somebody text me last night and said, "Where can I see the previous debate?"
It's still on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they wanted to watch it, is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yep.
So it just keeps rolling and
Well, that's the
rolling and
thing, you
rolling.
know, your show, and I usually don't watch it while you're live. I usually catch it later in the day.
Yeah.
I can see what's going on. So you can always have the opportunity to get on and see what's going on.
Exactly. Wayne, thank you very much.
No problem.
Good luck in your attempts to become first selectman. We'll see you on the 23rd.
You'll see me on the 23rd.
Yep.
We'll have the dinner on the 18th. We got Spook. We'll be there at Spooktopia on the 20th.
Yep.
And if I make any mistakes, I'm sure Kathy will straighten me out and contact you. But yeah, it's and a lot of those dates and where I'm going to be on Facebook. As a matter of fact, I plan on doing a meet and greet at Charlene's, and I'm going to talk to Brianna about that right after this.
He's gonna have a Tumblr made with all of his dates on it.
Yeah. So I'll be around, so people can come if they have questions. They can come talk to me, see what I'm about, see who I am. And I'm going to be door knocking this weekend.
All right.
And we'll be putting signs out. Democrats and us have been putting signs out the last week or so now. So
You're good.
all right.
All right, Wayne Malin, who's running for first selectman in the town of Griswold. Martin McKinney, who's actually going to come in on Tuesday, and we're going to talk to him on Tuesday. Full slate of football on SNSN this weekend. Tonight we have the homecoming game. Griswold taking on Weaver. Weaver, of course, in the ECC out of Hartford now. But that is going to be tonight's homecoming game. So it's going to get packed. If you want to go see the game, make sure you get there early because you may not get a seat. Plus, there's still the buzz over the multi-purpose field, just like Paul. You know, he goes there all the time. Not. So, and then tomorrow on Saturday, the rain's going to hold off, and we are going to enjoy 3 wonderful youth football games. If you don't think that youth football is entertaining, you are wrong. Watch it. It is a lot of fun. We have the micros, the juniors, and the seniors starting at 4:00. It is also senior night. So anyway, Wayne, thank you very much.
Hey, no problem, Mike.
Paul, Brianna.
Any last words?
You're welcome for sharing my Friday with you, Wayne, and letting you say what you needed to say. This is my day.
It's not Friday anymore, Brianna.
It's Brianna Day. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you tonight on SNSN.